Rage, take it. Over.
Here's Paul Calvisi.
I'm ready. I'm 100% ready. I'm telling you I'm ready.
And Ron Wolfley.
It doesn't get any better than that.
Unleash the fury!
All right, here we go, Red Sea. Let's do this. Because you know what? Miami thinks it's so cool, does it not? With the beautiful beaches, Wolf, and the beautiful people, and the exclusive clubs and the condos.
I don't know what you're talking about, Paul.
You got the super yachts and the super cars driving around, no state taxes. You know, I mean, they have the audacity to call themselves the Sunshine State. I mean, it rains there half the time. If there's anyone that should be known as the Sunshine State, it's the AZ. Am I wrong about that? Come on now.
Okay, Paulie, we'll give you that much.
You know what's cool?
What?
Who's hanging here on the Big Red Rage with Cardinals DB, an emerging star, Garrett Williams.
Oh, there
everyone.
we go.
That's what's cool. Garrett, are you with me on that one? I mean, come on. I don't know how much you know about Florida, but, I mean, the Sunshine State, I mean, half the time there's precipitation in the forecast. Come on. We do sunshine better than anyone.
You're not wrong.
How we doing, Garrett?
I'm doing good. How are you guys doing?
Doing okay, man. You know, it's got to feel really, really good right now. Just, you know, you guys have had a rough start, an inconsistent start, an up and down start, I would say, for the most part. You're sitting here, though, 3-4. And you're a game out of the division right now and still have a shot of turning this thing around. And winning that game against the Chargers on Monday night, I think it goes a long way. How about you?
Yeah, 100%. I think our biggest thing has just been consistency. And I think getting that win, especially in that situation on Monday night at home, I think it's a big confidence builder, not just for us, but I feel like just for the fans too. I think it was a good way to bring kind of everybody back to, you know, back to ground zero. And I think we're in a good place, and I think if we just handle things right, we can go on a good run.
What'd you like the most defensively about what the Cardinals did on Monday night? Because that's the second time in the last 7 years that a Cardinals defense has held the opponent out of the end zone.
Yeah, I mean, I think what we just did a really good job playing together. We talked about it all week of just focusing on the details, not overcomplicating things, and just trusting one another, which I feel like the last couple of weeks we were kind of getting lost in the details. And so I think when we all play as one, I think that's what you're going to see.
You know, on that note right there, what do you think about consistency? What do you think it takes for a team to be more consistent? Because that's kind of it's something that I think totally applies to this team right now. You guys have been inconsistent, whether it's in the phase of special teams or defense or offense, whatever it may be. You've been a little inconsistent right now. What do you think straightens that out and makes you more consistent?
I think it just goes with practice, meetings, practice, everything, and just understanding that, like, everything matters. And so just attacking each day with the right mindset. And I think if you just do that every day as a team, as a unit, and you just stay together, when you go on the field, it kind of shows for itself, you know. And I think if we just keep doing that, keep building together, we're going to be fine.
How about your front seven that played in front of you? Here's a few numbers. 3 sacks, 5 tackles for loss, 7 quarterback hits, and there were 13 quarterback pressures. What does that do for a secondary when you're getting that kind of disruption and production from your defensive front?
Oh, man. Yeah, you love to see it. It makes everybody's job a lot easier. And, again, they're capable of doing that. And so seeing them do it, especially on Monday night, you know, on the bigger stages, I mean, I think that just goes to show you that as a special group, and they're capable of doing that any week.
On that note right there, Paulie, it's really, really interesting when you look at defensive quarterback rating. You know I'm a big believer in defensive quarterback rating. I think it's an excellent metric to actually measure whether a human being is playing the quarterback position in the NFL at a decent level. I think quarterback rating is really, really telling. On the converse of that, I believe defensive quarterback rating actually takes in a lot of unseen things that happen on a football field, like getting pressure on an opposing quarterback, not having a lot of mental errors, not a lot of breakdowns in the secondary, good tackling as well. And the defensive quarterback rating for you guys over the last three weeks has been really good. Number 28 right now for the year, number 28 in defensive quarterback rating in the league, the Arizona Cardinals. But the last 3 weeks in particular, a 90 defensive quarterback rating, a 90.7 That's really, really a lot better than the 104 right now.
So, Garrett, is that what you mean when you're saying, we're dialed in a little bit more at this stage?
Yeah, and I think also, too, is just like it's a long season. So, obviously, at the start of the year, we had a lot of new guys in different positions. So, you kind of just got to keep building together as a team, getting used to playing with one another. And so, as the season grows, you should hope that you're getting better and better as the year goes on. So, obviously, we're just hoping to just keep improving that and getting that number down more and more and more.
Here's the other thing, and I'll throw this out there. I know you won't say that, but I will. The Bears' 4 wins are against 4 teams who have combined for 6 wins total. The Cardinals' 4 losses are against 4 teams who have combined for 20 wins.
Unbelievable.
Right, the 4 losses are all against 5-win teams. So, I mean, that matters.
That's great.
Your opponent. Now, here's my question. Wolf's going to get into all the particulars because he's Mr. Analytics over there, all right? I want to know, just physicality, how much of the win revolved around just being more physical than the Chargers?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like every week JG and all the coaches, they hone in on just motor and violence, and I think we did a really good job of that. And whenever you do it, it shows. It always shows, and it shows up in the stats. And usually, if you're more physical than the other team, you're usually going to win. And I think that's kind of what was able to allow us to win. And I think that's even what helped us win the San Fran game, too.
Forcing the fumbles, recovering fumbles, all that kind of stuff. Some of the sort of those hustle plays, right? Here's Kyler Murray post-game Monday night after the Cardinals win 17-15 on that walk-off field goal.
It's great to feel like this right now, but at the same time, like the work is what matters, the process is what matters. We can't be result-driven. Obviously, we got the result we wanted tonight. Last week we got our ass beat, but we went back to work and we had a great plan, put in a great week of practice. I felt like we could have came out here and played a little bit better, but at the end of the day, we got it done.
I enjoyed the Miami defensive coordinator this week saying when he saw the touchdown run, he goes, "It looks like Tyreek Hill is playing quarterback." That kind of speed. How happy are you don't actually have to tackle Kyler Murray and try and chase him down in a game?
Oh, man. Yeah, it's tough. It's tough. Even in practice, when he starts running for real, it gets crazy.
It reminds me so much of Russell Wilson when he was younger with the Seattle Seahawks. Paulie, when they won the Super Bowl, you'll remember that year specifically. They used to run 4 verts, 4 verticals down the field, right?
Just take off.
On a 3rd and 10, a 3rd and 11, whatever it may have been, they just run 4 verts. And a lot of the time, Russell Wilson just pulled that thing down, even with his spy, and beat the spy to the chains. And you know how demoralizing that is.
Yeah.
It breaks your heart. You get pressure on an opposing quarterback to a point. He pulls the ball down and runs it, and you're covering everybody in the secondary, and he takes his legs and just moves the chains. That's the kind of run I want to see from Kyler Murray, the unscheduled stuff. That's what I love.
Yeah.
And I remember Cardinals defenders back in the day saying, we had everything covered. We had played it perfectly. What's he going to do now? Oh, no. He runs for the first down. And so, that is an X factor, no doubt. Here's Jonathan Gannon on the Cardinals defense, that performance they put on display against the Chargers on Monday night.
Hats off to the players, man. Attention to detail, alignment, assignment, key technique, and violence. And I thought we controlled the line of scrimmage. The edge players set violent edges. There was knockback in the run game. We built a wall, and guys are hitting the ball, man. They're getting off blocks, hitting the ball, tackled well. I thought it was excellent tonight.
That was part of our post-game Q&A. You know what else he said, Garrett? He attributed a lot of the way the Cardinals played on Monday night to a couple of practices going into that game that he said were chippy, that were akin to training camp. What were those practices like? And you mentioned kind of going against Kyler. Like, how competitive does it get in practice?
Yeah, I mean, I think obviously when you come off a loss, I think the urgency always naturally is going to be, a little bit higher. And I think we all kind of just understand, like, we have a really good group, and you don't want to just squander that for no reason, So I think we all kind of understood going into practice this week that, like, we had to push each other kind of at a different pace. And obviously, like, when you're chippy in practice, like, we're all grown enough to know, like, it's nothing, it's nothing personal. We're all just trying to get better. I mean, it makes it more fun. It makes practice easier, honestly, and it just brings out the best in everybody so that when you get in the game, you're already used to it. You're used to going against other people at a high level of competition, and so it just makes the game easier.
It's one of the things, too, I loved about Kyler's comment, the process. The process. That's what it's all about. I mean, Paul, you've heard me talk about this over the years. Not looking at the end result. That's your goal. That's where you want to get to. But, man, don't look at that. Look at today. Your process. So important.
The question I didn't ask JG was about bend but don't break. You guys, you gave up some passing yards, but you didn't allow the Chargers to get into the end zone. Although Kaiser White used the bend but don't break, but most defensive coaches don't like that term. They just don't like that whole, because exactly, you're nodding. You know, exactly. All right, hey, single game tickets on sale now. Go to azcardinals.com/buy tickets to secure your seats today. azcardinals.com/buy tickets. All right, here we are, live, the Big Red Rage from Trophy and Chandler, located on Queen Creek Road between Price and Dobson, with Garrett Williams, all presented by Santan Ford and Gilbert.
Snap to Daniels, play action. 5-step drop, throws deep middle, and it is intercepted at the 18-yard line by Garrett Williams. He's tackled there, picking off Jaden Daniels.
Oh my goodness, what a play by Garrett Williams. Elevated with one hand, his right hand went out and batted it down to himself.
Snap to Herbert, 3-step straight drop, looks over the middle, sidearms it, incomplete at the 6-yard line. Garrett Williams knocking the ball down. It was intended for Disley, and it's 4th down.
What a great play by Garrett Williams, getting that right hand across and knocking the pig out.
Yeah, that was late third quarter. Guess what? It forces a field goal. And then 2 plays after that, Cardinals take over, and Kyler Murray, he gone, goes 44 yards. So, Wolf, that's the sort of complimentary football, right? Garrett Williams makes a big stop, a big play on 3rd down. And then, what was that funny, Wolf? What's going
Paulie,
on?
you know I can't stand that phrase, complimentary football. I can't stand that. I understand where you're coming from.
There's certain phrases I like to trigger, Wolf, because I got to get a little something out of it.
It drives me crazy, like, oh, now the defense did their job, so now I'm going to play.
Right.
I'm going to play complimentary football because they did their job. I like the term connected. I like that a lot better. We played connected. Not this complimentary football. Oh, you're going to try hard? Oh, now I'm going to try hard too. No. Just how about you try hard every play?
Every play.
Every play, regardless of what else is going on, regardless of what the score is, what the quarter is. How about you just do your job every play? That's connected, okay. Paul. I like that.
All right. Is that the extent of the rant for now?
That's it, Paul. I'm done.
Because now maybe Garrett can tell us about the play he made. So take us through that 3rd down PBU. Do you remember it?
Yeah, I mean, it was kind of crazy just because, like, throughout the week, me and our coaches, we were just talking about, like, if they line up like this is the play they're running. And, like, they tried to, like, hide it. But then when they lined up in it, it was like it clicked in my brain like they're about to run it. And so as soon as he came off the ball and he broke in, it was like, I got to get this. Really, because earlier in the game, I missed one. Like, I should have had a pick 6 earlier in the game. So I was really mad at myself. So I was like, got to make it back up. And especially on 3rd down, too. Like, that's the money down. That's the big down. And so when I broke one and I seen Herbert throwing it to him, I was really just saying, like, thank God, because I knew I was going to make a play on it. So then when I did it, it's always cool just because you kind of zone out. And then you just kind of zone back and you hear the crowd, everything like that. Then it kind of hits you that, you did something cool on TV for your people to see. So that's always nice. And, that's why you play those moments like that.
Garrett, in a gross simplification of the truth, your rookie year is about proving to yourself that you belong. Mm-hmm. You belong on this field
100%.
With these guys. It really is about proving it, I think, more than anything else to yourself, that you belong, that you're one of the best in the world, and you belong on the field with these guys. Year 2, to me, is a big developing year.
Yeah.
That's where you really make a big jump, I think, from year 1 to year 2. Would you agree with that, first of all?
Yeah, I think the comfort level, because you know what you're looking at now. You had a whole year to kind of get a feel. That second year is kind of time to, start making things
growing.
happen. Yeah, make things happen.
Okay, so as you look at your second year right now, what do you think?
It's been cool. I feel like I've had some good moments, and I feel like I've had some moments I wish I could get back. But I think the biggest thing for me is just honing on, just continue trying to improve on.
Do you see that growth, Garrett? Because I do.
From last year to this year, yeah, I do see it. But for me, it's like I don't even think about last year. I'm thinking from game to game. Like, am I getting better from last game? Am I improving on what I messed up on last game, last practice, things like that? And I really more focus on that, just being better than I was the day before. and just go from there. And it makes it easier for you, too, when you just think about it and keep it simple like that.
Yep.
Well, earlier today, Budda Baker was asked how Garrett Williams has grown in year 2. Here's the team captain.
Garrett's always been a smart guy. Does a great job of, communicating. I communicate to him. He relays it back and, try to give each other little details within the play call. So he's very smart, technician, guy who loves the game, and a guy who, is a student of the game. He watches a lot of film.
We had Rabbit on here a couple of weeks ago, and he said if you guys could be in the same meeting room with Budda and Jalen Thompson and just listen to those guys talk ball. He said, I purposely sit as close to those two guys as I can, and I just try and be a sponge and absorb the football IQ that's going on.
Yeah.
What's he referring to? Can you give us sort of a football 101? What is it about those two guys?
I think the biggest thing is you just see their experience. You know what I'm saying? Like, the type of questions they ask PT, our coach, it's a lot different than what me and, like, some of the younger guys we ask just because, they just see the game at a different level. You can kind of see it in how they play. They just play faster than a lot of people, And so hearing them talk about, different types of formations, different type of coverages that they might have ran in the past with their past staffs and things like that, it just helps you become a more well-rounded player just because you're just learning, and kind of like what Rabbit was saying, when you're just around them so much, they start to rub off on you a little bit. And so, like I was just telling Wolf, like I'm really thankful to be in that room with them. And then our whole room in general, like we have a really smart group, corners, nickel safeties, all of us. We all, meetings, we're all paying attention. We're all asking questions. We're all focused on trying to get each other better. And I think that's really good. And then it just helps too that we're just really tight too, So it makes it fun to come in every day, knowing that we're all just trying to work towards one goal, and that's just getting better.
So, Garrett, going back to the juxtaposition of year 1 to year 2, and comparing and contrasting it, where do you think you have grown the most, and where do you think you need to get better still?
Yeah, I think the place where I might have grown the most, I think just the game is slowing down a little bit for me.
Mentally.
Yeah, so I'm able to kind of communicate a little bit better. Now, obviously, like, I still got to keep working on that because I feel like I'm not 100% on it yet, but I think communicating and just letting things slow down has been the biggest thing. That's helped me a lot. But I think the biggest thing I need to just keep working on is just, I think there's tackling. I think that's the biggest thing because, in college I didn't necessarily play a lot of, like, safety and things like that. So coming down, making tackles like that, it's something I'm still working on and things like that. And then just continue to win when the ball's in the air, making plays on it. I try to keep it simple, just tell myself, like, I just need to win. Each game needs to be considered a win for me, and that's when the ball's in the air, when somebody's running at me, I need to get them on the ground. I need to pick the ball. If I need to knock it down, I know if I do that, then I'll be good. I'll be cool.
Garrett Williams is our guest. Remember we had you last year after your debut. It was at Seattle, Week 7.
Yeah.
You had the pick of Geno Smith. The last Cardinal to have a pick in their first NFL game, just Hall of Famer Aeneas Williams, by the way. Former Wolf teammate.
That's great.
So let that hang in the air for a little bit as a serious flex. And I remember we talked about you growing up in Harrisburg, North Carolina.
Yeah.
You were or were not a NASCAR fan growing up?
I wouldn't say I was like a big fan, but it was like, I didn't hate it though. Like, it was always cool when races came, just because it was so packed and there was a lot of RVs and stuff. But I never went to a race.
No.
Nah.
So okay, all right. So what else stood out about your upbringing then? If you weren't going to NASCAR races, right, and you didn't absorb it through osmosis, then what else? what else stands out about your high school days beyond being a highly recruited athlete?
Honestly, it was just chilling with my friends. I feel like I had a pretty regular, like, high school experience. Where I played football, I played basketball, I ran track, played baseball, and then if I wasn't doing that, I was just hanging on my friends, doing whatever. It wasn't really till, like, my junior year of high school I really started, like, working out for real consistently, things like that, where it kind of hit me like, all right, like, I'm trying to go to college and stuff like that for football. But it was a pretty simple upbringing. But one thing I think really helped me get to this point was that, like, my town of Harrisburg, like, we were really invested in the football, so it was like even playing JV in middle school to high school, like, our middle school and high school were right beside each other. And so, like, when it came to game days, like, it was a big deal. It felt like the whole town was there. Every game felt like kind of like a playoff game. We had good kind of traditions, things like that. So it kind of naturally made you fall in love with football and make you, like, to me at least, like, football is really important. You know what I'm saying? So it's like you always want to treat it with that level of respect. And I just think that's kind of pushed me to get to this point.
One of the things I love doing with my family is actually jumping in a car and driving through some small towns.
Yeah.
Driving through some, and I'm not saying Harrisburg is small,
Yeah,
because it really is not, right?
It's growing. It's like when I was in high school, it was small, but it's grown a lot now.
Okay, so how many people? What's the population of Harrisburg
Man.
right now? Do you
Don't
have
put me
any
on the
idea?
Don't put me on the spot.
Okay, that's all right. Don't worry about it. It's not a massive city.
Yeah.
Let's put it that way.
Right.
What's it like? Like if you went to Harrisburg, if somebody here would go to Harrisburg on a Saturday night, where are they supposed to go, Garrett? Where would you tell them, hey, this is you want to go here for dinner?
Oh man, on a Saturday
Because
night.
I love this.
Yeah.
I mean, I love Cajun food in particular. Is there a place that you liked in Harrisburg that you would go and have dinner?
Yeah, it was this place called AJ's.
AJ's.
It was a pretty traditional, regular just
Hamburger.
small town. Yeah, hamburgers,
Yeah.
salads, all that type of spaghetti, things like that. And then like the workers were all just really nice. So like you could go there with all your friends, kind of just post up there, do whatever, and they talk to you, joke with you, things like that. It was always cool. Yeah, it was AJ's or Harrisburg Family House. Those are like the two main.
Okay, nice.
Yeah, and then if it wasn't that, I'd just go to Sonic. Yeah.
By the way, per Google 2020 census, 19,000 people would be the population.
Wow,
Is that a lot? Is that a lot?
Are you-
2020.
I don't think that's a
No.
lot.
Yeah, okay. I don't think that's
I
a lot.
don't.
Yeah.
Here's what's crazy, though. Your high school teammate is also an NFL player.
Oh, yeah.
Jalen Brooks.
Yes, sir. That's my
That's-
best friend, yeah.
Really?
Yeah, like it's honestly like the story, like thinking about where we're at now from how it was like in high school is really it's crazy. And like things like that, how I look at it, it's like all the stuff that happened, it happened for a reason. Like our junior year of high school, like when we came in my junior year, his senior year, I was the backup quarterback going into the year, and he was like rotating that receiver. But for some reason, we were just always just really, really tight. And as we just started playing together more and more, we just got tired. And then I got moved to defense, and then it turned into us going against each other in practice, things like that. And then we just started hanging out. We just started hanging out all the time, things like that. And then over time, we just became just really tight. And so I think, again, I give him a lot of credit for me being here just because through the journey from high school to college to even now from game to game, like he's put him and my other group of friends, like first person I talk to with whatever's going on. And it goes both ways. And I think what makes it so special is just the fact, like, neither of us really had, like, the easy route of really getting here, and we weren't necessarily, like, the favorites or who people thought would get here, you know what I'm saying? So it's always special knowing that and just knowing how much we both sacrificed and put in together to get here. Just, like, I just think about all the workouts we did together, like, during COVID, things like that. We're just me and him lifting, like, you're not even thinking about the NFL really at the time. You're just trying to get better. So to see it all kind of come to fruition and me and him kind of end up where we're at is special.
But what's really important right now, especially between friends, buddies, who was recruited heavier?
Yeah.
and where did you guys get drafted?
Yeah.
Who got drafted higher?
Me. It's crazy though. Like his story is so crazy because like out of high school he went to a Division II school called Wingate, and so like he went there, and even in high school though we knew he was.
But he ended up at South Carolina.
He ended up at South Carolina. So he went to Wingate. He played his first 2 years there, I want to say, and he was killing. Like it was easy for him, obviously. Then COVID happened, and he was about to transfer to a school called Tarleton State in Texas. And then during COVID, it was we'd just be at the field working out, and so he'd be running routes with like Daniel Jones, at the field and stuff. And so obviously, like he just stood out with all the receivers there. And then Daniel Jones told Coach Cutcliffe at Duke, like, hey, there's this receiver, like he's going to Tarleton State, but like you need to get him. And then after that, the ball just started rolling. So then Duke offered him, South Carolina offered him.
Wow.
South Carolina, and then he ended up going to South Carolina, and then after that, things just kind of just started rolling for him.
But you were drafted higher.
Yeah. I was. But
you know how important that is, you know what I mean?
the thing is, though, we don't, like, that's, like, with us, it never was really even, like, it's never been, like, even a thing we talk about. It's, like, a bragging thing just because, like, we were –
Okay.
It really just one of those things we both just really just don't care.
Right.
Which really just about we did
Sure.
it. You know, like, we did it. You know what I'm saying? Like, he came to my draft party the second night. No, I was at his the third, and then both nights we went out and celebrated. Like, it it was great.
Well, when you're a fullback who turns into a wedge buster and you're drafted 104 overall, 105 on, you all stink.
Oh, yeah.
All right,
Yeah.
that's what I'm saying.
No, that's real.
Did you lock horns with the Chargers 6'4", 300-pound fullback? Did you get a piece of him at all?
I did not. I did not have to.
Okay. Just curious
Mad
how that
Lock.
worked.
What a great name, too.
That's a great name
for a fullback.
Madlock, oh my goodness. But think about that. You guys went against each other in high school practice. Obviously had the talent to make the league, so think of how much better you guys probably made each other without even realizing it at the time.
100%.
So,
100%.
Hey, learn more about Arizona Cardinals single game tickets, premium seating, group tickets, the all-new luxury field seating experiences. All you have to do, go to azcardinals.com/tickets, azcardinals.com/tickets. All right, we're live from Trophy in Chandler, located on Queen Creek Road between Price and Dobson. Garrett Williams is our guest on the Big Red Rage, presented by Santan Ford in Gilbert.
Hurry off play action, back in the pocket, pump fakes, throws across the middle, caught by Connor, 45-50, into Charger territory, 45-40, near side 35-30, 25 and out of bounds at the 21-yard line with 1:34 to go. Who else but James Conner with another catch and run to put the Cardinals in scoring range, down 1 with 1:34 to go. A 32-yard field goal try by Chad Ryland to win the game. Gillikin to hold, snap, ball down, the kick is up, and the kick is good! And the Cardinals win it 17-15. Chad Ryland being lifted up as he hits the game winner for the second time in 3 games, and the Cardinals move to 3-4.
Oh, hoist the kicker and parade him around the field.
About its 6 lead changes. Cardinals get the walk-off, game-winning drive, game-winning field goal. We said, you know what? Considering that was in prime time, how about an Emmy for best drama/action in prime time, right? I mean, that was good stuff right there. 17-15. Cardinals get the win. James Conner, oh boy. After the game, Kelvin Beachum joins us for the post-game Raider interview, which you did the week before, Garrett, and he said, you know what? James Conner is the lifeblood and heartbeat of this team. We heard that highlight in there. Just give us a quick word on what number 6 means, not just to the offense, but the entire team.
Yeah, everything Beach said is true. I mean, it's just like if you just watch James from a day-to-day, just how he carries himself, how he takes care of his body, just how he goes about his business, it's really inspiring, especially knowing his story, his journey, and just how he's never complacent. He's always talking about just getting better, always talking about trying to be the best version of himself. And I think he's a great leader to have, not just for football, just somebody to talk to in general. He's definitely everything people say he is, and I'm really grateful just to even get to share a locker room with him.
You know what is one of the cool things about James Conner? He's one of these players that plays the game of football where he has a tangible impact on how the game is going to end, right?
Yeah.
He does. He's so physical, so overtly talented. He really helps you win football games. But more than anything else, it's the thing that is unseen that James Conner brings to a football team that is incredible. The intangibles. He's very similar, Paulie, to Budda Baker.
Yeah.
Just watching Budda Baker play the game of football, especially the smallest guy on the field for the most part. And yet all he does is ball out on every play.
Every time.
It immediately challenges you as a football player on the field. If he's doing it, what are you doing? What kind of effort are you giving, right?
No, that's facts. I also just think, too, like when you see guys like them who played consistently at that rate for so long, like you have no choice but to respect their habits, because you don't do that by accident. You know what I'm saying? So when you see James and Budda and how they go about themselves every day, it all kind of makes sense when you realize, like, it's my second year, but it's their 7th, 8th. You know what I'm saying? Like, things like that. And it really just makes you respect them more, knowing how long they've been doing this and that. They don't look like they're tired of it. Every day they come in with the most energy, and they're ready to go every time.
And, Paulie, this is something we talk about all the time, and you bring up being on the sideline. The impact that a James Conner run has on the guys on the sideline.
Oh, yeah.
Not just out on the field, but on the sideline for the Cardinals, Paul.
Yeah, he's the lifeblood. He's the heartbeat. He's the mindset I think that the coaches want. He's that kind of guy. I mean, had over 100 yards rushing. Cardinals had 181 as a team. But you got a Miami offense that had 188 yards rushing against the Colts. They ran it 40 times, and here's your defensive coordinator, Nick Rawlis, and that Dolphins offense.
It's very explosive. You know, they obviously have 2 elite receivers, 2 backs that are extremely explosive as well, and a very good scheme, very similar to San Fran's scheme. So they present a lot of issues as far as pass game and run game.
And we're going to get into some of the specifics of Miami's offense here in a minute. Did you know, Garrett Williams, that your defensive coordinator's brother was a wrestling star by the name of Madcap Moss? Did you know that?
No, that's crazy.
Are you wrestling? And I know you see Wolf a lot of times gets accused of being a wrestling announcer just because of his voice.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, you're not a NASCAR fan. What about wrestling? Big wrestling guy growing up?
I was. I was a big WWE guy. Jeff
Nice.
Hardy, that was him and CM Punk. Those are the 2.
Okay. No, that's great because once upon a time, Madcap Moss formed an alliance with Baron Corbin. Does that name ring a bell? Baron Corbin. Because he's a former Cardinals offensive lineman who made the jump, okay? He was at the game. He was one of the influencers, one of the celebrities there, right? He was watching the O-line warm up.
Yeah.
And then he came on the pregame radio show, and we asked him to go back in time. Wolf remembers this. This is a while ago. It was 2007, I believe. Cardinals camp in Flagstaff, and a fight breaks out, okay, which was not advised to take on Baron Corbin. Then he was Tom Pestock, his given name. And his old line coach was Russ Grimm, who, let's just say, preached physicality. Here's Baron Corbin on all that.
I got in a fist fight in that dome against, I think he was a kid out of Connecticut the first time. I knocked his helmet off and then hit him with another right hand right to the face, and it dropped him. And I was like, oh, man, I'm going to be in so much trouble. And Russ gave me a hug and was like, "That a boy." I was like, I'm home. This is my home. And then there were a few more other that followed. And there's always a line I always tell people why I loved Russ so much. We were practicing with the Titans one time. Somebody hit Beanie Wells after the whistle, and so, of course, I delivered a nice blow to them and knocked him down, and their D-line coach grabbed him and was like, "If someone does that to you, you better be fighting." And Russ yelled out, he goes, "Tell that kid he has a better chance of winning the lottery than that fight." And I was like, this is the greatest place ever to be. It was just so awesome, and it fit my style of football.
See, for some reason, Cody Brown didn't get the memo that Tom Pestock at the time, Baron Corbin, was a Gold Gloves champ, MMA expert. He's 6'6", 318 pounds. Okay, and as the saying goes, there were 2 hits. There was Pestock hitting Cody Brown and Cody Brown hitting the ground.
Yeah.
That's what happened.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah. Who's the baddest man on the Cardinals roster? We always pose this question every year. Who's the one guy you would take with you into a biker bar to have your back?
I'm gonna say all of them. Everybody. Yeah, everybody. I don't want to give anybody that type of compliment.
Kind of cred
to think that they're just that guy.
Wolf, come on.
That's honestly for
Roy Lopez is a good one.
Okay, Roy Lopez
state wrestling
is not
champion.
bad. Yeah,
and
that wouldn't be
I didn't
bad.
know that. I didn't know that.
Can I take a retired guy?
Okay.
Can I? Marcus Golden.
Marcus
Can
Golden.
I just go with the junkyard dog?
Yeah,
All right,
that's
can
not
I
bad.
just take Marcus Golden? Because that guy right there, I guarantee you, man, he's going to the ground.
I might take Budda.
Ooh.
That's not bad.
Because if you come in with Budda, like, they're not going to expect, they're not going to think he can do what he does.
I'll tell you what, I would have top my Pauly power pole. I'd take a healthy Will Hernandez.
Oh my goodness.
Because nobody's just looking at Will Hernandez. You're not messing with him. You know what I mean? You're just you're not trying it.
And he's not, Will is not the type of guy to look for trouble either. Okay, but he's not going to run from it. No. Okay, I'm just saying.
If I had to give one, I'd say Paris. Yeah, I'd say Paris.
Paris.
I just, it'd be Paris then.
Yeah.
Man, I think of Paris as
Paris
being
is crazy.
the athlete and,
have you ever seen one guy be so different on game day than he is the rest of the week?
No, like I tell Paris this all the time. Like, I've never seen something like that before. Paris, off the field, non-football, laid back, cool, quiet. Then we get as soon as we get in the locker room for it's 3 hours before the game, and like Paris is locked. Like, he's not talking. His pads are already on. Like, it's crazy. And then when you get on the field and we're warming up, now he's screaming, now he's yelling, and I just get out of his way.
Wow. So when you look at the Miami offense, how would you describe it?
Explosive. Yeah, explosive.
Okay.
Yeah, I think explosive in just a lot of different ways, score and make plays. Obviously, I feel like it runs through Tyreek and Jalen Waddle, and then a chain as well. Those three always give them a chance to, hit that home run.
Yeah, for me, Paulie, I look at this. It's very similar to the Chargers. It really is in regard to their use of 21 personnel and 22 personnel.
Yeah.
These guys, in rundown situation, they're going to use 21, 11, 12, and 22 personnel. 21, 2 backs, 1 tight end. 22, 2 backs, 2 tight ends. 64% of the time. In rundown situation, they're in 2 backs. Alec Ingold is their fullback,
Okay,
he is excellent.
That, and I've heard, that guy's an assassin, the fullback. I've heard some stuff about him. Here's the thing, though. Was it because they were using 4 different quarterbacks while Tua was out, and they had to go with a heavy?
No, Paulie, for the most part, this is who they are. They're the 49ers. These are 49ers type numbers right here with their use of use check as well. And, Paul, the thing that people forget, when you get into 2-back right now, it says, here it comes. We're going to run the ball.
Right.
That's what we're going to do. And guess what? That's what they do out of 2-back. They run the ball. But then they take shots down the field with a 7-man protection. They'll throw it down the field, man. I'm telling you, those are the chunk throws right now that the Arizona Cardinals are missing.
All right, so is it a valid question to wonder, Garrett, that Cardinals at least have a little bit of a leg up in knowing that sort of scheme because you play Shanahan twice a year, you played LaFleur in Green Bay, you have McVay. I mean, these guys are all from the same tree, right? Are some of the basics kind of similar?
Yes, but for me at least, no, just because you see some of like the similar stuff formation-wise, but each team within their scheme attacks you such a different way. You know what I'm saying? Like Green Bay attacks us a lot different than how Miami would, or how San Fran did, for example. You know what I'm saying? So it's like each team presents a different challenge just because they might have the same scheme, but their personnel is completely different. You know what I'm saying? Like Green Bay, they have really good receivers, but they don't have the speed that Waddle and Hill have. So it's just different types of, it's just a different way of attacking us.
And, of course, a lot of people also look at the Miami Dolphins and their offense, and they say, well, Tua's only played in 2 games, and that's one of the reasons why they've had a hard time scoring points and moving the ball. Tua, when he was playing quarterback, had a quarterback rating of 78.9. It wasn't great by any stretch of the imagination, even in those 2 games he did play. So, once again, there's an opportunity.
Last year, they were the second highest scoring offense in the league, 29 points a game. This year, they're the lowest scoring offense in the league, minus Tua.
And a lot of that is Tua, but it wasn't like Tua was ripping up in the 2 games he was there.
I mean, Jalen Waddle and Tyreek Hill had 1 catch apiece for a combined 19 yards last week. They were non-factors. So you got to figure it's going to be totally different with Tua at quarterback this week. We'll get into that in depth. Hey, check out the Dave Pash podcast, wherever you get your podcasts, or youtube.com/AZ Cardinals. We continue. Garrett Williams and the Big Red Rage, presented by Santan Ford in Gilbert.
In motion comes McWilliams. Plummer back to throw. Looks up the middle. Now he dances. Now he runs. Plummer's on the 10. Plummer throws in the end zone to a wide open Larry Centers. He's got it. He scores.
Oh, and Jake Plummer just sucked everybody to him. Starts running. Larry Centers is standing out in the corner of the end zone. Nobody around him. And Jake Plummer puts it right on the numbers to number 37, Larry Centers.
Did you know, Ron Wolfley, that your former teammate is 3rd all-time in catches in Cardinals history behind Larry Fitzgerald and Anquan Bolden?
I did know that,
crazy.
Paul.
No, you didn't.
Well, now that you bring it up.
Yeah, okay. All right. Why would we be playing a Larry Centers, number 37 highlight, circa 1998? Garrett Williams, what did you do recently to bring Larry Centers back into the news?
Yeah, I mean, I wore his jersey to our Monday night game.
That's a double ding right there.
I
That's
saw that,
outstanding.
man. That was really, really cool of you.
Thank
All
you.
right. So how did that come about?
It was crazy. It was really unplanned. So this was before we played the Commanders, and I just wanted to go to the mall. So I went to the mall, got some stuff, and then one of my friends had been telling me that I needed to go to this place called Tempe Throwbacks because I got a shirt. I was given a shirt from there, and so as I'm driving home, I ended up passing it. So I'm all right, let me just stop inside, see what's going on. So I'm in there. I'm just, I'm looking around, and then the store owner, I want to say his name is Matt. Please forgive me, but Matt, he comes up to me. He's telling me about all the different things, and he's like, "Yo, I got this jersey. Like, if you get this, bro, like, nobody has it." You know what I'm saying? So then he kind of starts explaining it to me, like, the Larry Sanders jersey, who he is, things like that. And he showed it to me. I was like, yeah, need it. I need it. And so then after that, it was just a matter of like, all right, when do I want to wear it? And I feel like the Monday night game was like the perfect time to rock it. You know what I'm saying? Because I feel like that jersey, that's not something you can just wear any game. You know what I'm saying? You got to wear it on a special occasion.
Larry Centers, what is so freaky about Larry Centers are his calves. Okay, his calves.
It's true. Yeah.
No, seriously.
I know what you mean. Yeah.
You guys, you think you've seen calves. All right. Larry Centers' calves are the most defined things you've ever seen in your life. He used to get ripped in the locker room all the time. Hey, Larry, let me see him, see the calves right here. Ripped all the time. We would force him to go ahead and bring his socks down, take his socks down. Hey, come here. We'd call other people that we're playing against. I'm talking about guys that we're practicing against. Hey, get over here.
Gosh.
Look at this kid's calves.
That's crazy.
Seriously. It was unbelievable. And to this day, whenever I see Larry, it's like, let me see him, man. And he'll do it. He'll pull the pant leg up. He's still got him, man.
Yeah, well,
it's pretty cool.
What I remember from LC, he wasn't taking your harassment for very long. He could dish it out, too.
Oh,
LC
you
let
better
you
believe
have it.
that, man.
Yeah. Oh, boy.
Oh, yeah. I was brutal on him as a rookie.
Okay.
But after that, it wasn't great.
By the way, you guys share the same birthday, June 1st?
I was just about to say that. My dad told me that after the game. And I was like, that's great. I did not know that. That's
that
crazy.
is a mind blow right there. That's crazy.
That's how you know I bought the right jersey.
Wow. Okay. All right. Well, look, the jersey you got to worry about on Sunday is Tua Tagovailoa. He is back. And guess what? He led the NFL last year in passing yards. It's a stark difference from the 3 backups they've been going with the last month or so, Wolf. And listen to the head coach, Jonathan Gannon, on what he sees.
Really good processor, very accurate. Ball comes out of his hand extremely fast, on time, accurate. He knows where to go with the ball. You can't confuse him. He does a really good job. He's a premium player.
Yeah, I mean, I've heard guys use the word precise, right? Precision passing game.
Yeah.
I mean, that's and it's quick, right? I mean, isn't he? I mean, it's
Very
not
decisive.
easy to get to him, right?
Yeah, very decisive. He knows where he's going. He's going to go there.
Paulie, have you actually seen him? He's going to play this Sunday. Is that what you've heard?
That's what they're saying
Because
out of
right
Miami.
right now, he was limited both days.
Okay.
Limited. Okay, well, I saw the injury report.
Okay.
That was actually X'd out by the Cardinals. They had him limited on both days. Having said that, this is a high-profile case for the National Football League. They've got a lot invested in what is going on with Tua Tagovailoa. Now, listen, for me, personally, Paul, if Tua wants to play, it should be his decision to say, I want to play or not, okay? Not the league. I don't want to see that. But they have a lot invested in his welfare. There's no doubt about that.
And they say he has been cleared by independent medical
Absolutely.
experts. Multiple.
Absolutely. He has been cleared. This is just me. You know me. I'm the grassy knoll. I'm the grassy knoll, okay? I don't pretend to be the grass. I am the grassy knoll. I think this is such a high-profile case. PR matters. It matters in the National Football League. Everyone's looking at Tua Tagovailoa. They might sit him down and just say, you know what, Tua, give us one more week just to make sure you are in the clear. And I think the NFLPA would be on board with that.
Well, if they want to run out Tim Boyle or C.J. Beathard or Skylar Thompson, okay. But you still have to worry about the 2 receivers, including Tyreek Hill. Here's Budda Baker on defending Tyreek Hill.
We have our game plans, of course, with, certain players. He's definitely a premier player, so we understand where he is on the field. And Tua does a great job of making the reads and getting the football out.
All right, so what does that mean when you're defending maybe the fastest player in the league? I know Xavier Worthy these days, but, what sort of challenge is that, Garrett?
It presents a very big challenge, and you, like Budda was saying, you got to know where he's at on the field at all times. You can't just treat him like any other receiver, obviously, because if you do, that's how you get burnt. I think we have a really good plan put in place. The biggest thing we got to go out and execute. You got to make it happen now, and just when the ball's in the air, we got to make plays on the ball.
We'll see you on the flight tomorrow.
Yes, sir.
Thanks, Garrett.
All
really
right,
enjoyed
Garrett.
it. Great
Thank
stuff.
you, guys.
How about it, everyone?
Thank you,
Garrett
guys.
Williams, Cardinals defensive
Thank you,
back.
guys.
Special thanks, as always, Jim Almohandro, Cody Fincher, Walt Ellis, Lawrence Ellis, Ali Narini. For Ron Wolfley, I'm Paul Calvisi. Man, this is great stuff. Watching the game here live, Trophy and Chandler, located on Queen Creek Road between Price and Dobson. It is the Big Red Rage. Garrett Williams was our guest, all presented by Santan Ford and Gilbert. We are Santan Ford.